There once was a time when Skyrim was fine, and all was peaceful and well. But then one day, to everyone's dismay, Skyrim was plunged into hell. War was waged, citizens were enraged, animals were caged, innocents were maged. Everyone dying, children crying, bandits defying, nobody was trying to restore peace. 'Twas Nords versus Imperials, 'twas swords versus arrows, Skyrim versus the Empire. There was frost and there was fire. General Tullius versus Ulfric Stormcloak. The war disturbed the common folk. 9 divines save us from this horrible fight. 8 if you're on the Imperial side. Unfortunately, the prophecy having foretold that when brothers waged war in cold, that the Alduin, Bane of Kings, with cold black wings, would devour the entire world. No mortal could slay him, not even the greatest knight. Only one man could win, with all of his might. Dovahkiin, the Dragonborn, by his honor he be sworn to slay Alduin and keep Skyrim clean. His adventure began in a wooden caravan where he awoke and saw captured Stormcloaks. He soon discovered, as Helgen uncovered, the Imperials had faded, he'd be decapitated, as he put his head to the block. There was plenty shock, for the dragon had come to kill all the fun. Fireballs shot down from the sky, people were cheering each other goodbye before they died. The dragon was Alduin, his red eyes made him look mean. Fortunately, Dovahkiin snuck into Helgen Keep, recollecting what he'd seen. His handcuffs were off, his wrists were soft, but he still grabbed a weapon and cast spells like a brand, and fought his way to see the light of day. He then went along. The path was very long. However, Riverwood appeared, and Dovahkiin is smeared with blood. He got supplies and rest, and soon he left to take on the big city, Whiterun. He walked up to Dragon's Reach to give his incredible speech on how Helgen was damaged and the Imperials were ravaged. All was heard by the Jarl, the servant, the housecarl. But nothing was done, except quest number 1. The Dovahkiin made a run, cleared a dungeon without a gun. Bleak Falls Barrow. The paths were narrow. He got a dragon stone from the Draugr overlord. He kicked through the bones and sheathed his sword. Farengar, Balgruuf's mage, was happy to say, "Your services are no longer needed." But soon there was a plight when a dragon took flight, ready to fight with all of his might. He waited at the tower, where he showed off his power. Mirmolnir was his name, but then the Dovahkiin came, as Mirmolnir's infamous bane. He slew him like a skeever, he was everyone's reliever. But there was something strange, as his voice changed, after poor Mirmolnir had his skin burned from tail to ear. The Dovahkiin sloom was finally used, as he released it in one word, Foos! The Nords were in awe, except the Dark Elf went bah! The Dovahkiin returned to Whiterun, about to report what he had done, when he heard something that rattled his jeans, like somebody yelled, Dovahkiin. He consulted the Jarl Balgruuf, who heard the shout as well. He advised that he should listen, cause he had a story to tell. After hearing the legend, the Dovahkiin decided he'd leave for High Hrothgar where the horse had been provided. The journey was not easy. At the end he felt sleazy, but the Gravers were expecting him, like while they were reciting hymns. They tested his skill and taught him row and wood. They sent him to Ustengrav, another dungeon full of Draugr. At the end there was a prize, worth many dollars. It was the horn of Jurgen Windcaller. The Dovahkiin made to the end, but there was nothing to apprehend, except for a mysterious note that somebody had wrote. It said to go to the Sleeping Giant Inn, and sleep in the attic room within. Then continued the Dovahkiin, who eventually met Delphine, a blade whose attitude was mean and acted as if she were a queen. To prove he was a dragonborn, they defeated a dragon who was reborn. The dragon's name was Soloknir. Alduin was also there. After defeating it, there was another chore. The Dovahkiin had to infiltrate Thalmor. The Dovahkiin searched the embassy for answers, but there were still too many unanswered. However, they did get a good lead. There was a man in Riften that they needed. He's a blade named Esbern. Delphine knew him before. He was the blade that was an expert in dragon lore. The Dovahkiin entered the Ratway in Riften and came back to Riverwood with him. After the reunion, Esbern said, "We have to endure the long road ahead." The trio set out to a place near Markarth, a place with Alduin's wall and a Wormhog. Skyhaven Temple was the blade's new home, but it was also a mysterious tome. In order to make a dragon descend, you must learn Dragonland. The Dovahkiin went to High Hrothgar and questioned Arengar. He did not know about the shout, but he did give a route to their master Parthenax, who talks even slower than those. He did not know it either, but the Dragonborn was eager, so Parthenax told him to go and retrieve the Elder Scroll from Winterhold. He managed to get it in full from Septimus Signus. He was essentially a brilliant dingus. He told the Dovahkiin to go to Alftan and retrieve the Elder Scroll that was in demand. He got the ancient scroll and continued his role. He retreated back to Parthenax and showed him the Elder Scroll. After taking out his axe, he raised the inscripted gold. He learned Dragon Ran and began to defend. As Alduin emerged, Dovahkiin's strength surged. He fights him at the peak, but things become bleak as Alduin retreats. The Dovahkiin went to Dragon's Reach and asked for a trap. Whether Balgruuf says yes or no, I'm gonna skip that. He used Dragon's Reach to capture Odovig, who even agreed to take the Dovahkiin to Alduin. Once he reached Skuldafn, there was no more laughing as the Dovahkiin entered the portal to save all the mortals. Sovngarde was foggy and it smelled smoggy, but Dovahkiin didn't fall on his way to Shor's Hall. With the help of the tongues, they saved everyone, old and young. By slaying Alduin, the Dovahkiin had kept Skyrim clean of evil. The tongues gave thanks, but he had to leave, so they kept him off the banks, but they were happy as can be. And this was the story of how the Dovahkiin had finally slayed the malicious Alduin, and to cherish his victory and keep it in good vibes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.